Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Mental Health Talk with me. I'm Christina McIntyre, coming live from my apartment. So I still wanted to stay in touch and touch base and give y'all some good information about ways that we can deal and heal with mental health issues. My website is down right now. I'm trying to update it and change some things, but you can still go to my YouTube, BYC, Become Your C, and subscribe and stay up to date on all my podcasts. Also follow me on TikTok at Become Your C, and also on Instagram, Become Your C, and here on Facebook, BYC Become Your C, or my main page, Christina McIntyre. It's important that we take each day as it comes, for one. So whatever happened this week that made you upset, whatever happened that you wanted to and didn't, we can't worry about yesterday. We can't worry about an hour that happened ago. We have to focus on now and in the moment. And it's important that we don't hold on to things that we can't control. So whatever happened this week, we can't control it. It's already done. Let's focus on what's to come, right? Tomorrow, later on today, an hour from now. That's the only thing we have control of. We can't control everything around us, but we can control our emotions and how we feel on the inside. And I think it's important that we plan for our days. That way we don't get so overwhelmed with things. I think a lot of times our mental health gets affected because we put so much on our plate and we feel like we have to tackle each one of them every single day. And if we don't meet that quota, it causes havoc for us. So what I started doing the last month or so is that I will give myself like 3 tasks for each day that I need to accomplish. And if I accomplish them, that is so great, right? And I make sure that I do it in the headspace that I can get to. And then if I have the more energy, I'll put some more on my plate. But in that whole boundary that I can accomplish it, I don't overwhelm myself with so much that I lose focus. Because what happens is you get burnt out, right? You get burnt out from trying to do too many things at a time. So I'll have 3 major goals that I'll do for that day. And of course, I always have minor goals that is an everyday routine. And I make sure that I get it done. I don't let the day go by without accomplishing it, right? So if you set those smaller goals, they're more obtainable than say, hey, I'm going to do 10 things every day, and knowing that you're going to stress yourself out, you're going to overwhelm yourself, and then you wind up not accomplishing anything. So be kind to yourself, be gentle, know who you are, and write this stuff down. Sometimes I program things in my phone. I'll write it and put it on a calendar, just to make sure that I get these things done. What I did in the past, I would write things down and then let it go over to the next day. But what happens is, if you keep putting things off until the next day, they're going to pile up. And then it's going to be one day where you have all these things to do, and then you're going to get overwhelmed and frustrated. So let's take more of an active role in how we plan out our days so that our mental health can be at its best, right? So every day is not the same. I get that, but you have to take charge and control of what you can do, right? And setting them small goals is accomplishable. Even if you're suffering from issues, you still can accomplish something. So make sure that you do that for yourself, because the more things that you accomplish, the better you feel. Even if it seems minor to someone else, it can be majored for you. So this week, I wanted to talk about how important it is for self-care, right? A lot of times we don't take care of ourselves, right? Not saying that we don't shower and brush our teeth and go to work and do that things, but we don't take care of us on the inside because we're so busy with life that we neglect to check in with ourselves, right? We're taking care of the kids, we're working, we're cleaning, we're doing these tasks, and we put ourselves on the back burner. And what happens is, if you don't take care of yourself, you get depleted, you feel deprived, you feel let down, you get frustrated, you get stressed out, blood pressure is going up, maybe you're overeating, undereating, and you get headaches, and you wondering why you don't feel satisfied, because you're not taking care of yourself first, right? And what does self-care look like for each individual? So self-care for each individual is going to look different. For me, self-care is, I get up now, I write in a journal every morning, I meditate, I exercise. That's what I do every day. That is my self-care routine for myself. When I miss a day of not working out, I can feel the effects of it on my body, like my mental status. So I must move my body and sweat. I feel like that helps me get my day started, give me the burst that I need to keep going. It can look different for everyone. Self-care to me is also setting those goals for myself, right? Setting the 3 major goals for myself to accomplish, like today. Doing laundry, that's a big thing. Cleaning out a deep freezer, that's another task. Making homemade bread, that's 3 major things that I'll have for today. And putting away the laundry. So I'm going to complete those tasks for myself, because that's taking care of me, right? When I get those things done, I don't have to worry about it. Like the bread, I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the week. Laundry, I won't have to worry about it for a few days. My deep freezer is getting prepared to have food put in there, so I'm not going to have to worry about it when the time comes. Let's say I don't clean out my deep freezer today, and I go shopping. Now, I'm shopping, I got all these groceries, now I got to stop, take time to go clean out that, when that could have been done today when I have time, right? So do those things. That makes me feel better. I also listen to a lot of meditation. That is self-care for me. And I go at my own pace, but not a slow pace where I'm not getting anywhere, but a pace that will allow me space. If I need to take a mental break, I can. The self-care conflict with your I have to do everything value on yourself. So I think a lot of us were taught that we have to be super people, right? We have to do all these things. We got to stay busy. And if we take care of ourselves, that's saying that we're selfish, but it's not. Taking care of yourself empowers yourself, it energizes yourself, it motivates yourself to be able to have the energy to do those other things. If you're doing so much and you get overwhelmed, then what happens is you start breaking down. You feel like you don't have energy to do those things that is true to your heart. And I think a lot of us have grown up that we have to do everything and also people please, right? We people please, so we neglect ourselves first. We put the needs of others before our own, because that's how we're taught. Like, we supposed to be kind and we're supposed to be giving and loving, but if you're not doing that for yourself, how can you give that to someone else? And it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's vital for your survival. When you get depleted, and when you get depleted, there's not going to be anything left to give out. So if you took care of yourself first, you will have the energy to do everything you need and do it in a way that brings you joy. When you're working from a place of emptiness, you're going at things at a robotic state, and it doesn't feel real. And you don't want to be that type of person. You want to always do things with a genuine heart. That's why it's important to take care of yourself. And why do we neglect our self-care but put others in situations before ourselves? Again, we do that because we were taught to do that. We were taught to people please. We were taught to always give. And that's a very good quality to have, to want to give and to make sure that everyone is taken care of and they're happy. But you have to want your own happiness for yourself too. You can give of yourself to others and also give of yourself to yourself, if that makes sense. We have to be kind to who we are because we're the only person that we have. Like, I believe that each individual is unique and have purpose and is here for a reason. So you have to take care of the vessel that is here in order for you to do the work that you're supposed to do in this lifetime. And if you're not taking care of that person, the world doesn't get to see what a wonderful creation you are. Is what we were taught about people pleasing a reason why we put ourselves on the back burner. Yes, it's important to sit and reflect, and I talk about this a lot, and meditate. Meditating helps you reflect. Some things that we were taught growing up could be the reason why we suffer so much and why we feel like we can't do for ourselves, because it's kind of taken away from doing from anyone else. Like, let's say you're a parent and your children do. Yes, they have to come first. But at the end of the day, if you're not full, like your cup is not full, how can you give fully of yourself to someone else, especially if your children or your spouse? How can you do that? Your friends and your family, if you don't have anything inside of you, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? How do you find time to do self-care with a busy schedule? You just do. You pencil it and you set aside time every day to give yourself self-care time every day. Yes, it's hard at first when you have a busy schedule. Let's say you gotta get up at 5, drop the kids off, go to work, do this and that. So you have to ask yourself, what is important to you? Is providing yourself self-care important for you? And it should be. A lot of people will say they try, but you have to really make an effort to do this. I worked at a job and I was working 7 days a week because they didn't pay that much, and so I had to do a lot of overtime. And it got to the point where it was mentally draining me because I didn't have time for myself. I had to get up at 4:30, drop my son off, go to work, be there, pick him up, come home, do all those tasks, and go to bed. It was like a repeated cycle. I had no breathing room, and I was mentally burned out. So what I do now, I go to bed by a certain time because I know I get up between 4:30 and 5. And I make sure I have that time to get up. I know what time I have to leave, how long it takes to get to where I need to get to. So I map out a time that I can do self-care for myself in the morning. Let's say exercise. Most likely, if I put it off to the night, it's not going to happen. So I do most of my exercise in the morning. Yes, occasionally I have to exercise at night, but then I really have to push myself, and then it complicates stuff. So I decided that I needed that for myself to get myself through the day. Also, it's important that, again, you know your schedule so you fit it in. If that requires you to wake up 30 minutes extra every morning, that has to be important to you. You have to take time for yourself because time is moving rapidly, and you don't want to look back on life and saying, I wish I could have did this. I wish I had more time to do this. And we do have time. We just have to utilize the time that we have. Every minute counts, every second counts, and by all means, take time to relax. Also, if your self-care is grabbing a glass of wine and watching a movie and just relaxing, especially after you worked hard, that's fine. That's doing something that is pleasing to you, that will fill your soul. That's why I said self-care looks different for everyone. If yours is taking a walk, I would say eat a piece of cake. That's fine. Everything in moderation. we have to do these things if we want to live the best quality life. Like, self-care is not selfish. It's actually empowerment. It's actually giving you that energy that you need to be vibrant in the world. Self-care equals self-love. When we take care of ourselves, we're thanking our Creator for giving us this body and this life. And it makes us, when we take care of ourselves, we're telling ourselves, I love you. I love what I have. I love what I created. I'm going to give you the best that I can give you, right? And it's a process of learning to appreciate time. And I think a lot of us don't realize like how precious time is. People die often, and we don't know when our time is up. And so we want to be able to enjoy the time that we have, and we don't want to do that in agony or do that in regret or stress. That's why it's important to utilize all the time that we have. And I know that, yes, life is busy, things happen, but it's important to set aside time for self and just make a schedule or give yourself that. Even if you have to take, sometimes it requires change in order to give yourself self-care. Some people have left jobs because the job was taking so much out of them and they felt so much better. Yeah, they had to take a pay cut, but they felt better overall. Sometimes we have to change our situation if we want a better outcome, even if that means being temporarily uncomfortable. Change is not easy. Change doesn't necessarily always feel good in the moment, but the benefits overall will be beneficial to us. Do we think we deserve self-care? So a lot of us don't think that we deserve it, so we don't do it. And maybe you suffer from like depression and mental health issues. You have low self-esteem. You don't have confidence, so you don't think you deserve good things. But we do, right? It's getting past the mindset that we tell ourselves that we're not good enough, so we don't deserve these things. Telling yourself that you do deserve these things and that you do want these things. You do want to feel at peace, and you want to feel satisfied. You want to feel happy. And yes, I do deserve time for myself. I do deserve to go try some new things that I always wanted to do. We have to get out of that mindset that tells us that we're not worthy of these things and that we're not valuable. It's a hard place to be in, especially when you do suffer from self-confidence and self-esteem issues. Those issues tell yourself that you don't deserve anything and that you're not worth it. So why even try? But I'm telling you that each one of us is worth it, right? We deserve those things. We deserve to be at peace and we deserve to be happy. I mean, we need to give ourselves those things that will make us feel better. It's 24 hours in a day. Most of us work 8 hours, right? Traveling time add on 2 hours. So that's 10 hours. We sleep between 6 and 8, right? So, really, we have 6 hours out of the day. And we gotta cook and take care of our kids. So now, we only have a couple hours for ourselves a day. So, what are you going to do in them hours? If you know you have limited time, you have to give yourself that time. If you can give time to everyone else, why can't you give it to yourself? Are you putting other people's value over top of yours? Are they more important than you? And if you think so, then you're telling the Creator that I'm not important, that I don't deserve this. And so you're disregarding what He created or she created. And so let's stop thinking that we don't deserve to be cared for, that we don't deserve to take care of ourselves, that we don't deserve to have the things that we desire, sometimes we just have to change how we think and how we navigate through life. Sometimes we have to change our environments and situation, and that's hard. I think a lot of times we suffer is because we don't want to let go of those things around us, which is causing us to neglect ourselves. We can't neglect ourselves because when we do that, we can't focus on the important things. We have to learn to appreciate who we are and the body that we have and everything that comes with that, and do those things that's saying, like, I care for you. We wash every day. We brush our teeth every day. We feed ourselves. That's a part of self-care. But what about those things that is pleasing to us? Why can't we give that to ourselves? We're giving it to everyone else. We expect to get it from everyone else, but we can't do that for ourselves. That doesn't make sense. We have to put ourselves first, and this is not selfish. When you put yourself first, you're saying, hi Tyrone, you're saying that I'm important too. And when I'm in the best state that I am, I can give fully of myself to someone else, right? You can be more for someone else when you're filling yourself up. And it's hard, and I struggle every day with self-confidence and self-esteem, but every day I just try to divert the negative thought pattern and try to do things that make me feel good. These thoughts, they don't never really go away. They just lessen as time goes on. The more you feed yourself positive energy, the more you feed yourself those positive affirmations, those negative voices become lessened. But this is something that you have to be consistent with, right? I said we fight for ourselves every day, spiritually especially. We're fighting for ourselves every day for, obtaining higher consciousness, obtaining to know who we really are at the core. Like, the version of ourselves that we are today is not going to be the version that is tomorrow or 5 years from now. And the more we learn who we are, we appreciate the vessel that was created. We're so special, and I think a lot of us don't even know it, or don't even value it as much as they should. When you know that you are special, you won't settle. You'll give those things to yourself that make you feel at peace, and you won't put yourself last. We can't do that. Even when we're parents or we have partners, we can't do that, because we're not giving them the full of us if we don't take care of ourselves. We have to feel full. Again, this is a journey that takes a while to realize that, hey, I'm important too. And so I'm going to start doing things that bring quality to my life, right? I'm going to start feeding and nourishing my soul. You do things every day. When you do these things every day, it becomes a habit and it becomes routine and it sticks with you. And that's what I want us to get to. Make self-care a routine and a habit that automatically you start doing those things. You can even take a nice bubble bath, light some candles for like 5-10 minutes and relax. It doesn't require a lot, especially if you're short on time, but it is necessary for your survival to do self-care. Self-care isn't saying that you don't care about others. You're making yourself a priority so that you can be, again, your full self in every situation that you're in. The more you give to yourself, the more you love yourself, the more you take care of yourself, that energy shows. And so when you meet people, they want to feed off of that energy. And people will want to surround themselves around you, because that's what you're reflecting of yourself. So don't say that, no, I don't deserve it, or I don't care. You do deserve to be in the best space that you can be. So again, self-care varies from person to person. You got to find what works for you. Everything doesn't work for everyone, but there's something that you can do every day to start, right? It's not an overnight change, especially if you're not used to taking care of yourself and if you're putting yourself on the back burner. You got to figure out. That's why I urge people to sit and reflect, right? Meditate and ask yourself these questions. What can I do every day to ensure that I'm doing something to take care of myself every day, right? And maybe it's eating better, right? If you know you need to eat better and lose some weight, get your health in order, what can I do to take care of myself every day? Let's start by having a energizing breakfast, right? Or drinking more water, or moving my body more. When you move your body, it creates energy, right? They say when you're tired, you do 25 jumping jacks. It energizes you, letting the sun hit your face. That's why it's good to take a walk sometimes, especially when the sun is out. The sun gives us energy, and we feed off of that. We feel that, right? So do something every day that will say, hey, like, I feel good. Or if dancing is your thing, that's part of self-care. Go ahead and move. Even if you can't dance, sing, do something that brings a smile, makes you laugh, makes you feel good on the inside. Make yourself a priority so you feel great about yourself. You're important. Like, I want people to realize that you're important, and that the whole journey of life is self-discovery, but it's to fall in love with this person that was created and to appreciate the person that was created, because I believe our creator makes no mistakes, and that we were created and designed uniquely for a reason, and we need to fall in love with that person. No matter what we done, we all have done things, we all have mistakes, we all think bad things, but at the end of the day, if you're trying every day to become the best person that you need, you are on the right track. But you must give yourself the nourishment in order to keep that drive going. When you don't feed yourself the nourishment, you will lose focus and you will stop progressing. You have to keep fueling the fire. If you want the flame to continue to burn, you have to keep fueling the fire. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to be a super person. I know as a woman, I only can speak from a woman's point of view, that women are taught that we have to be that super mom, that super spouse. Like, we have to do everything and we can't complain about it. We don't need to ask for help, and that we should be doing everything ourselves, and it's okay. Like, back in the day, our parents used to do everything without complaint. They were tired, though. If you listen to the stories of the older people, they were tired and they wish they had help. You don't have to be a super person. You don't have to live in a role that was created. That's not love, right? That's not loving on yourself, to be so overwhelmed that you think that you deserve to, or you have to be the super person in order to deserve love or deserve respect or to deserve care. We're not robots, and we weren't made that way. We don't have to do everything ourselves to be respected as a person or as an individual. We were taught that. No one is perfect, so no one has to do everything by yourself. When you do things by yourself all the time, you get overwhelmed, you get tired, you get frustrated. So don't allow someone else's opinions and thought process to make your life the way it is, right? Or their opinions affect you in a way that you don't live your life the way that you need it for yourself and to take care of yourself. Being mindful. saying no to those things that deplete your energy. I think a lot of us think that we have to say yes to everything. Yes, I'll be there, or yes, I can help you, or yes, I'll do this and that, knowing that it goes against of how you feel. That is self-care too. Saying no to those things that you know will affect you in the long term. A lot of us are afraid to say no because we don't want to disappoint people. But who's living our life? We're living our life for us, right? We can't live our life to constantly please people, because at the end of the day, we all are by ourselves. So we have to love the space we're in and create a space in which we can thrive in. Taking care of yourself will give you the energy you need to complete the task. When you start off the day fresh, when you start off the day taking care of yourself, you get pumped. You want to accomplish those tasks for the day. I know when I start my day off fresh that I have the energy I need to complete the rest of my day's tasks, and I even want to do more. And then I give myself, what I do is give myself these tasks. I complete them. And if I have energy to do more, I do. But then I give myself space to not push myself past my limit. Now, I do sometimes have to push myself because we all get in that comfortable, lazy mindset. But then you push yourself past the limit. And when you do, you feel so good about yourself. Did something for yourself, like I accomplished this and I feel proud of myself. And then tell yourself that too. When you're dealing with issues, a lot of times we don't tell ourselves that we're proud of ourselves for what we have done, but tell yourself often, like, I'm proud of you, I love you, you did this today, and that is a great day. Again, that's why I say do as much as you can in each day, because every day is not the same. Like, let's say I'm having a great day today. I can do all these things, right? And then I did above and beyond. So I completed extra tasks. Because let's say tomorrow, I'm not feeling my greatest. I'm only feeling at 40%. So I might not get to all those tasks. But I did extra yesterday. So now I'm okay. I'm still on the right path. But again, make sure you do complete tasks. But don't do what you can in the space that you can. But make sure every day you're doing something. And those days where you have exuberant energy, you can accomplish more than do more, right? And remember, you matter. Make yourself a priority and appreciate the creation. And that's basically what I have for you. I want us to take time each and every day to appreciate ourselves each and every day. I want us to take time to value the creation, like we are the creation. And I think that we don't give ourselves time and the love that we need. We're on borrowed time, right? We have no idea when our time is going to expire. We have no idea when we're going to leave this earth. So why not love on ourselves to the best of our ability and our capacity? Every day we gotta love on ourselves a little more. I believe that when we fall in love with ourselves deeply and we appreciate ourselves, we're not gonna put ourselves last. We have to make it a priority every day to take care of ourselves, even when our life is hectic. You have 30 minutes to give to yourself every day to do something, to work out, to prepare a nice meal, to read, to meditate, to do something that's going to empower you and showing that you appreciate you. Now, what are you going to do today to give yourself self-care? Map out. If you have to write things down so you remember, map out the week. Like, I'm going to do this every day for a week and see how it goes. After 3 weeks of doing something consistently, it becomes routine and a habit. So make the choice today. Set yourself 3 weeks from now that I'm going to make something become a habit. For me, I've been working on positive affirmations and being intentional about my thought process. Yeah, it's a struggle, but I'm trying to do something different. If we want things to happen differently, we have to change our mindset and change how we go about doing things, and we have to change our situations and our environment, sometimes getting rid of things will open up the pathway for us to proceed forward. We're holding on to things, the mindset, the process, situations, environment, because it feels comfortable. But in order to receive the abundance that we need, we have to get uncomfortable. Don't allow yourself to be put on the back burner. Don't allow yourself to not be a priority. You deserve the best out of life that you can possibly get. Make yourself a priority so you can reap the benefits of this life and then be able to show others what real, genuine, intentional love and giving looks like. Well, that's all I have. I want to thank y'all for tuning in, and don't forget to share. I will be back on next Sunday at 12 p.m. Same time, same spot. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at Become Your C, Facebook and YouTube, BYC Become Your C. YouTube, you can subscribe and check out all my podcasts from like a year or two ago. Also on TikTok at Become Your C. My website is down, so it's not active, so you can't reach me there, but I'm trying to get it up and running. Also, tomorrow I'm going to do a video about the jewelry I have on sale to help you on your spiritual journey using the chakra system. If you're ever thinking about another way of healing through a holistic approach, you can always message me as well. We can talk about that. If you're going through something and you just need some encouragement, you can message me as well. If you're having suicide thoughts because you feel overwhelmed from life, you can call the suicide hotline at 1-800-273-8255 or visit them on suicidepreventionlifeline.org. We need you here. You deserve to be here. You matter, right? Fall in love with yourself so the world can fall in love with you. Until next time.